Okay, welcome back. So previously we have already talked about all the OTA's history, the major ones, and how they are become together within groups or they were merged. But right now we're going to talk about more deep about their business models. So for business models, I'm gonna split into three categories. So for OTAs, how do they make their money from? So here's all the models they have. And as a traveler, what are your choices and how are you going to pay for it? And also, as a suppliers, either your hotel, airline companies, tour operators, or hosts like Airbnb. So these are the models that we will cover today. Firstly, I'm going to start with the merchant model. Merchant model is actually as a terms for prepaid online. So I put into OTA as a merchant model is actually a business term, but for travelers, it means that you're prepaid only. So that means you're settling your payments via credit cards on the internet. So we can see that these are the ones that are only available for prepaid models. So for flights or packages, so you don't pay as on site. That means you don't go to airline company and pay it at the site. You only do it when you are booking via the internet. So does the package. Package means hotels plus flights. So it's a bundle deal that you pay together. With this prepaid online model, there are several advantages or say chances that help you or help the supplier to get more business from. Why? Because once the travelers paid already, there will be less cancellations for it. Why? Because it's already been paid, probably 6 months or 8 months ago. So you have already collected money. It helps your cash flow, and it's more secure because it's already paid. In terms of prepay, there are suppliers or there are OTAs, they do recommend or say encourage to have non-refundable rates. It's the same thing as less cancellation, but at this time, they also provide special promotions. Particularly in airline company, they have this revenue management to monitor the rates or say the price they sell one seats. For instance, for these tickets from Taipei to Los Angeles, it could be very cheap, say $500 US dollars with special promotion, but it's also non-refundable and you have to prepay it. But when the time goes in, or say close to the departure date, they might upraise their price because this one of their revenue management. Also, they don't provide special promotions, and they only do this when tickets are fewer and fewer. So the price may change, but still it will be a prepaid model. We can see examples via the Expedia.com directly. So I go to Expedia.com and I'm checking flights, just like I mentioned, from Taipei to Los Angeles, and we do the search. Okay, so I see there's a Korean Air that take me to Los Angeles from Taipei. So I just randomly select one of it. So I just want to show you how it works. Okay, that was the departure and this is the return. Of course you need to return, right? Okay, so I don't want to add cards right now, so no thanks. Right, now this is the flights that I booked, and this is the total amount with 2 people. So either I can add cars, or I can continue booking. No, so it's like regular booking the flights on the airline company websites. It helps you directly to book the flight via Expedia. Rather than just the airline tickets, you can also book the cars like mentioned before, and sometimes you can also book the hotel's room together. And this is what we call the package deal or bundle deal. So you can see here you pay with your credit cards and your contact information. Then you have to pay it online before you go on the trip. So this is we call merchant model. Okay, so with merchant model, these are the advantages or the characteristics of it. So you can see like Agoda, Airbnb, Expedia package, Kayak. Kayak is actually the meta search that direct to the other airline companies, or Skyscanner are the same thing. So they have to prepare online. Also Klook. Okay, then we move on to the next model, which is agency model, or we can refer to pay on site. So for OTAs, agency model is also another business term, but for travelers, easier to understand that you book online, but you pay on site. So that means you only pay when you receive the services. So same thing, let's see what are the advantages or what are the characteristics that for this payment model. Okay, for pay on site means you have options that you can book first, then pay later. So say you're going to Sydney in 3 months time. So you only book right now, it's August or September. Then you're going on December. So you don't have to put down your credit cards to have the bank or say the hotels or the other travel services company to receive your money, but you didn't receive the services yet. So right now you have the options that, okay, I'm gonna book now and I go later. So it will help you to book. So the conversion wise will be better because you know I have this spot or I have this rooms to be reserved, but I'm only paying when we're getting there. So on the OTAs, it will have a better conversion with this payment model, but it will also have the higher cancellation for it. Why? Because you didn't pay, so you probably won't really think you need to go. However, there are cancellation policies that will generate or say if you pass the cancellation, you still have to pay by your credit cards because you use it on hold. So these are correlated better conversions for the travelers, but it may also have a higher cancellations for the suppliers or the hotels or the hosts. And also one of the advantage for this payment model is that people can pay by local currencies. For sometimes currencies or exchange rates are changing quite frequently, especially the US dollars is not that strong lately. So 3 months from now, it may got cheaper. So you can pay your local currencies instead of paying right now. But on the other side, it may get more expensive to it. So it really depends on the time of the time of your traveling, and also on the current situation of the exchange rate. But by paying local currency is always an advantage for the people who traveling abroad, and also not protected as well because it's higher cancellation and you may not go there. And sometimes people use the fake credit cards to book their or reserve their itineraries. So it may not be protected for the suppliers, but it will be better for the travelers because they have options or they have better conversions to it. Let's see the model or say the examples of it via the booking.com. Here. So like I mentioned, we go to Sofitel Sydney Darling Harbour. This is one of the better hotels in Sydney, so let's just use it as examples. So when I click the hotel, it takes me to the page, and I can see their informations like the reviews, the photos. It looks really good. Okay, now I want to stay at this hotel, but I'm not going within 2 weeks. So right now, I just go down to the rooms I want to book. Okay, this is no breakfast. I book one room, and I will reserve. There. So for check-in time from September 9th to September 11th, I select this 2 double beds, and this is the price, or say the US dollar here. And here's the cancellation policy. But what I'm looking for, okay, typing this. Okay, you can see here I put all the informations to it, but now I can select pay later. So it means I don't have to pay right now, that before I go. So I only to pay on site. So I have the options to tick this, that I don't have to pay at this moment. I can only settle the payment when I get to there. So this is we call the pay on site, or say the agency model. And here's the booking.com that we have this pay on site, or Hotels Combined direct booking. Hotels Combined is actually a meta search, but they also work with hotel directly. We will get to the meta search later about how they mapping with other OTAs and the direct informations to OTAs through them. But at this time, you only need to understand that Hotels Combined does OTA kind business model, that they will have the hotel to collect money for them, and they will refund the money to OTAs once the reservation was done. Or the rental cars, that you rent a car, you book online, and you don't pay. But when you get to the car rentals, that you have to pay on site. So this is the payment model that we have here. Also, we have flexible payment models. This payment model is combined with merchant model and agency model, or we can say prepay online plus pay on site. So this combinable prepayment and the pay on site applies to Expedia.com, Hotels.com, or Trip.com. For this payment model, the benefit is that traveler can have choices. They can choose whether they want to pay first or pay on site. Sometimes suppliers or hotels, they will have different rate plans, or say the promotion strategies on 2 different payment models. We can say prepay online can be cheaper because now you understand that it's already been booked. It might be non-refundable, and the hotel or the airline company received the money already, so they can do a little bit discount on it. But for those who doesn't do prepay online, they only pay on site. They pay the original price without promotions. But still, under the normal circumstances, that it's up to traveler's choice. They can choose whether to pay it online or to pay on site. So it will also have a better conversion, because this is travelers willing whether they want to do it now or pay later. But for suppliers, it could be a little bit confused or a kind of extra work to it, because when you receive the booking or notifications from the OTAs, you have to tell which kind of business model they're using. For saying for prepaid online, they generally send you a credit card number. It's a virtual credit card number that for you to collect the money, for supplier to collect the money. But for pay on site, you have to refund or submit the payment to OTAs. So for the reservation center, or say the front office, they have to tell the differences between prepaid online or pay on site. If this is a booking to pay on site, but your clerk or your reservation or front desk didn't charge the payment, this booking will be will be free, or will be no payment at all. So it will cause some problems or misleading to the staffs. And as I mentioned, you have to submit the payment to OTAs, so it will also create extra work to them. So there are always good part of it, also come with the other work to it. So we also see the examples here. With the hotels.com, we just search for Los Angeles as well for 1 day or 2. Then we choose the room. Okay, now you can see pay now or at hotel. So this is the model I was mentioning with choices. Okay, so I choose pay full amount online right now, or I can pay at hotel. So I said, okay, I reserve with deposit. So I can see I booked this room, but I didn't have to pay anything right now. Due now means no, 0. So due at property means that I pay everything at hotel. So this is the options. Or I go back, I still search the same room and I pay full online. Okay, so I leave my credit card information here and I pay full. So I don't have to pay anything when I go to the hotel. Here it says, well, confirm your booking and take payment today. But either way, it's prepay or pay on site, all the bookings are confirmed. There won't be anything that it says, okay, you might have your rooms to be canceled under the normal situation. So this is the flexible business models that combine with prepay online and pay on site. We can see the process of it. So from the prepay online to the left hand here, say travelers book by OTA like I showed you before, and they prepay to OTA via credit card. This is how the money or the payment goes. Then suppliers receive the notification or bookings from the OTAs. Then suppliers provide service to travelers. That means you go to the hotel and you stay at the hotel. Then suppliers will receive the payment from OTA either through a virtual credit card or a wire transfer. So this payment will deduct from their commissions, or say the rates that they, or the benefit, not the benefit, commission or the money value or the markup deducted from the booking amount, and the OTAs will receive, the suppliers or hotels or airline company will receive the net amount of it. So this is the prepay online model. On the other hand, pay on site is also very similar. Travelers book by OTAs like the same thing. Traveler use credit card to hold as guarantee. It's very different now here. It's a prepay against as guarantee. Guarantee means that if you pass the cancellation policies, you have to pay for it. But still, at this time, supplier will receive notifications from OTA It's a similar step, but if you're combined together, you have to tell which is which. And at the pay on site, supplier provides services. Also, they have to collect payments on site. That means when you check in hotel will collect the payment from you if you're a traveler. So these are the differences. Then the suppliers or the hotels or flight airline company have to submit the payment to OTAs. So these are the two main differences. If you're a hotel, you receive the money from OTAs from them. But for this pay on site, you have to send the money back to OTAs. So that's the two major differences. So combined together, supplier receive payments or supplier has to submit payment to OTAs that send money back to OTAs after the commission or deduct the markups. So you have to tell the differences with your clerk or your front desk, even your financials. So that could lead to extra work. So that's why I mentioned there are extra works if you combine this together. Then we move on to commission levels. Okay, I point this out. OTA, how OTA works with hotel or suppliers, mostly based on commission levels. Internationally, the commission ranges from 15 to 25 in between, depends on the area or say on the regions. But mostly OTAs are charging from suppliers or hosts. But why do I point out travelers also have commissions to pay? Because that's the unique business model from Airbnb. Airbnb is actually sharing the commission from the travelers and the hosts. So for instance, travelers have to pay 14% to stay at the hotel. After the rate was posted, and hosts also has to pay the commission to Airbnb was 3 to 10% in between. So that's combined all together that the OTAs make. So this is a very unique business model rather than the other OTAs, because most of the OTAs are only charging from the suppliers or who receive the money. But for Airbnb, they do commissions from travelers and also hosts. All right, they call it guest service fee. So I mentioned 14.2% of the booking total. But under one situation is that the supplier will take care of all the commissions. It's only when suppliers paying service fee only for the more like a work or say hotel wise. Airbnb is not just doing home now. They also do hotels or corporate travel. So when you're a hotel or like a business entity, you have to cover all the commissions, not the travelers. So when that time, the supplier has to cover it all. And also the experience, Airbnb experience, like the video I showed earlier, is covering all the commissions well. And the commissions ranging from 20% up. So for this commission model, it's very unique wise in Airbnb style. Otherwise, most OTAs work with hotel or airline companies are using commissions that collected directly from the suppliers. Okay, so before we move on to meta search, let's take a break.